It has been 29 years since the death of Himmel the hero. Our party has been retracing the steps of the legendary hero for a while now, and they have come across the Schweier Mountains, located in the northern lands. It is cold and harsh, and the leader of this party, Frieren, the same elven mage who accompanied Himmel the hero all those years ago, is starting to fade fast in the blizzard. In the arms of her student, Fern, Frieren the Slayer is a dream of a time long past, of a time when Himmel and the hero's party first set forth on their adventure to slay the Demon King. Himmel believes that since he was given the hero's sword as a child by a friendly merchant, he's destined to finally be the one to slay the Demon King, where many others have failed. For the future hero, that merchant said, but 'twas a fake sword for a fake hero. But with the dream of acquiring the real hero's sword, Himmel set off. Recently, I was having an interesting conversation with my two friends / roommates. One of them just moved in and saw all my anime figures. It happened because he finally got to live with someone who could actually talk about anime with. The topic of Frieren came up, as that is a show that we all like. And I have two figures from the show, Frieren and Himmel standing side by side on the shelf in the living room, much to the annoyance of my other roommates. We all talked about how Heiter is such a great character, how Frieren and Fern are cool, how Eisen's like a badass. But also, interestingly enough, my two roommates laughed about how Himmel wasn't as great as the rest of the cast. I mean, I argued that label should have gone to Eisen instead, only to met with a retort of, well, Himmel is just kind of full of himself. Maybe if we actually saw him doing something actually heroic, he'd be interesting. Today, he just kind of fucks around. And I thought that statement was unbelievably interesting. After needing to carry Frieren to their destination, her party arrives at the village of the Sword, hidden deep in the mountains of Schwer. There, they meet the surprisingly young 49th chief of the village. One of the party members, Stark, has heard of the village of the Sword, reciting a tale about how hidden away in the sanctuary near the village was placed the legendary hero's sword, and how many have tried to pull the sword from the stone. According to legend, the hero's sword can only be pulled from the stone by the hero who will drive off the great calamity bent on destroying this world. It is a tale we all know as old as time. So of course, Himmel drew that sword. I think at that moment, many thoughts came rushing in. I thought about all the cosplayers I saw at Otakon this year. Or the many couple cosplays of Frieren and Himmel that I was very jealous of. And I thought about this video that I had in the back of my mind. This video of great moments in anime. Fantastic moments. Moments in scenes that transcend this limited medium I ascribe to it. Where even a terrible show can pull all the stops and make me and everyone else care for a moment. The highest of highs a story can bring us. When an anime, just for a moment, is the best anime ever. Himmel never pulled that sword. It was all a lie, perpetuated by the powers that be. He failed, just like all those who came before him. He was never the chosen, destined hero. So that sword remains in the rock. For the longest time, while the show was airing, I was in the same camp as my friends. That Himmel was kind of a jackass, a pretty boy full of himself. But in the 12th episode, despite being proven as not some legendary chosen hero, with what I believe to be a bit of pain in his voice, he states that there's nothing wrong with being a fake hero. All this event has done is reaffirm his will and desire to see the Demon King's threat to be destroyed and bring peace to his world. After this declaration, I knew that Himmel might actually be indeed a real hero. A fictional character that people, as silly as it sounds, should look up to and be inspired by. Thanks to the show taking place several years after Himmel's story, we knew that he did, in fact, do what many could not. He defeated the Demon King and brought peace to this world. This video is going to be nothing but spoilers, if you can figure it out. Isekai is a troubling genre. With many examples of how low the genre can stoop to, one might be willing to throw out the entire baby with the bathwater, including me! It even seems like the meta-narrative of the genre itself is done with the whole from another world shtick. Whenever one of your friends, or even you for that matter, try to recommend an isekai to someone, you have to preference with, oh, it barely touches on the isekai stuff. You can just pretend it's not there. And that's a shame. Because there's a million different things you can do with that premise. ReZero is a troubling anime. A show somehow in somewhat made exclusively of high highs and low lows. But one of the highest highs this show has to offer is when our unbelievably annoying main character, Natsuki Subaru, must face the past. Subaru is what you would call a neat hikikomori. He refuses to go outside or go to school for whatever reason. And yet, while facing the trials of his past for convoluted reasons, we learn his family still loves him. His dad barges into his room and tackles him. The two wrestle while the mom waits for them to all eat breakfast together. The family banter back and forth until Subaru's father suggests that today should be the day his son goes back to school, maybe. But our main character refuses, and with a pain in his chest, he leaves the breakfast table to go and hide in his room. His father, on the other hand, barges into his son's room once more, and with a smile, tries to cheer up Subaru and spend time with his boy on his day off. They walk around town, and Subaru's father exclaims that Subaru is, of course, his pride and joy. The two have a heart-to-heart on the bench, where Subaru explains that the reason he gave up was because of a complicated set of reasons. He thought he lived in the shadow of his dad. He couldn't keep up being the best. To make his parents proud, he became a troublemaker. And was just kind of always a weirdo. How he wanted his parents to berate him, to hate him, to threaten to kick him out or grow up out of his stupid childish antics. But they never did. With an axe kick to the head, Subaru's father explains how could they hate their son when they want nothing but the best for him, to love and support him in every way they can, to always be there for him, and if Subaru feels guilty about it, he can repay his parents by taking care of them when they're older. To which Subaru breaks down in tears, explaining how he can no longer do such a thing. Now he may never see his parents again, and how this is goodbye. His father comforts him and tells his son to go knock him dead. His parents will always support and love him, no matter where he is. A similar scene tries to play out with his mom, but there's simply no need to. His mom explains in several examples how she's always been paying attention to him, how she already knows all his woes and sorrows, and that it's okay. Subaru apologizes for wishing he was never their child, and he's given a chance to say goodbye to his mother as well. ReZero may be a mixed show with many complicated emotions tied to it. There's one scene of a piece of shit promising his parents that he's going to do his best and be better, and his parents loving him despite all that. Maybe in a lot of things to a lot of people. Bocchi is a show I already talked about briefly on this channel, but I don't care. I really like Bocchi, and many of my friends talk about it all the fucking time for some reason. Bocchi the Rock is a show about a girl whose name is not Bocchi. It's Hitori. That's it. No, Bocchi is a show about a horribly awkward and shy girl who really wants to make friends and get out of her shell. But using her passion for music, she's dragged into a band and quickly becomes friends with all her new bandmates and those around her. They write songs, they get along, practice, do a street performance, practice and practice. Preparing for the band's first actual performance on the 8th episode. But unfortunately, a typhoon hits. It's not like they were a big band anyway, and many of their friends and family aren't able to come to their first concert, to many of their dismay. It's a shame all around. until two girls who watch the band on their street performance arrive and inform the band that they are indeed fans, much to Bocchi's surprise. But the terribly shy Bocchi, who has all her hopes and dreams placed in this band, and her friends, who knows she and her bandmates carry the weight of those same hopes and dreams on their shoulder, refuse to let this be the end. And she performs one of the sickest solos since Freebird. I don't actually know music, please don't fucking kill me. A solo that my friend who actually plays guitar informs me that it's fucking stupid and really hard to play because Bocchi plays like a psycho. Bocchi, with the power of music, grabs the attention of the audience and forces the rest of their bandmates to go ahead and play that band. Following along with Bocchi's wild playing together, they are able to wow the audience, and actually just so happen to blow away that typhoon. Side note, Bocchi's existential episode about not being smart enough for college, or not knowing what to even go to college for, and fearing she'll just get a shitty dead-end job. She's not good enough and just hide away and drink herself to death. And if she can't make any money with the guitar, she'll be a NEET. Is literally me. I might cut that out. Haruhi Suzumiya is about a girl named The Melancholy wanting to make a movie. No, it's fucking not. I would say what hasn't been said about Haruhi Suzumiya, but only nerds like me still give a shit. So it's about a main character whose name is Kyon and how he suffers dealing with a girl named Haruhi Suzumiya, a girl who is actually God. She just doesn't know it. And now he and her many club members must entertain her, or else she becomes bored and the fucking world ends. In the process of entertaining her, she's decided to make a really fucking stupid movie for the school arts festival. And in the episode, Haruhi is already running around in a bunny girl outfit causing problems, but our main character isn't paying much attention yet. So the episode goes about as normal. You can even see Haruhi running around in the background with a guitar case. She's clearly up to something. But Kyon, bored and sleep deprived, decides to listen to some really, really bad amateur music. Suddenly, students start pouring in to see the rock club's performance. And Haruhi, in her stupid fucking bunny girl outfit, is ready to make a fool of herself as usual. And somehow Kyon will be involved. Kyon, fearing the worst, braces for the worst. And why shouldn't he? All throughout the show, Haruhi has proven herself to be nothing more but an annoying, self-entitled brat who embarrasses all her friends just for fun. Insert a full-ass rock song, actually animated and sung, that comes out of fucking nowhere, where apparently it was, I don't know how accurate this is, was done via rotoscoping and took months to animate. And thus would create one of the most iconic songs in anime history, as the voice actress Aya Hirano sings her heart out singing God Knows, a song with now 38 million views on YouTube. This is the same show where the same episode is played 8 times in a row. It mixed up the fucking airing episode just because they thought it was funny. This is the same show that has the same scene of the classroom where just nothing happens. Clannad is a very complicated show. The story of a kid with a bad home life finding the love of his life at school, only for it all to go so wrong. Tomoya is the only child of an alcoholic and neglectful father. His mother died a long time ago, and his dad struggled to make ends meet a lot of the time. In school, Tomoya would meet Nagisa and many other friends that would help improve his life just by getting to know one another. Tomoya would help improve their own lives, everyone raising each other up and become better people by the end. And finally, by the end of high school, ready to really become adults with all the issues that come with it. But time passes, and life is cruel. And the small town Tomoya grows up in changes into something unrecognizable. But he and Nagisa, they get married and plan for a child. Tomoya works hard at his job to support his family, but on the day of his child's arrival, Nagisa does not make it. Destroyed, Tomoya locks himself in his room, only doing the bare minimum to live for 5 years, while his daughter he refuses to meet is being raised by her grandparents. One thing leads to another, and he's eventually forced to meet his daughter and take care of her. The duo go on a trip together, with Tomoya struggling to be a father and bond with his child. In a field of flowers, he realizes he's been here before. And you realize he's just like his father before him, if not becoming him. He's reminded of the many different sides of his father, the loving and the terrible. And in this realization, he goes to his daughter and in a crying fit asks if she actually wants to be with him. Now he promises to be better for her. Why does any of this matter? These are just silly little cartoons, and I might be a little too emotionally invested in. What is the point of this video? What is the point of anything? To entertain? Are you not entertained? What was the point of going through a few scenes that I thought were emotional, inspiring, or just simply breathtaking? It's not like I did any deeper analysis or anything. Make you see anything in a new light. I'm not smart enough for that kind of video, unfortunately. But I do have to say this. May 21st, 2024. A Taiwanese man helped stop a knife attack on the, probably pronouncing this wrong, Taichung Metro. He was one of 17 civilians who rushed to stop the man who injured 3 people. This man would be awarded for his bravery, to which, interestingly enough, he would cite his reasoning as to why he risked his life simply as, if Himmel was there, he would have done the same thing.